Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square here with T-Square Talk. It is Monday morning, and I am super pumped, super excited. I got a great video planned out for you guys. It's all based off of a comment that I received over the weekend, and I liked it. It was, I don't know. It was like a heartfelt comment that I got, and I think maybe the person might have misread me a little bit on the channel. However, some people do. It's easy to misread my thoughts on silver. Sometimes if you think that I think silver's going to go down because I'm waiting for the possible pullback, maybe you think I'm not really stacking. I have had people ask me that before. They're like, dude, do you really believe in silver? Because if you did, you wouldn't be waiting for a possible pullback. You would be going all in. I find that kind of comical, but the comments that I received was basically from a short that I had done over the weekend, and he had said basically it's good to hear that you have the feeling, it's at least in your mind, that we may not see a pullback. So here's the thing. So I did a video a couple weeks ago, and I said typically at the end of a quarter we have some sort of a beatdown. And I've been saying that for 2 weeks now. And we have not seen any kind of a beatdown. In fact, even if a 10% beatdown came right now, I don't think you'd be able to buy it as cheap as you could 2 weeks ago. Why? We were at 41.50 not too long ago. In fact, it was when the Fed gave their announcement, and I want to say that was what, 2 weeks ago maybe at most, not even. Maybe I think it was on like the 19th, so maybe 10 days ago. We were down to $41.50, and the price has been climbing every day since. And a lot of the reason for that is the lowering of interest rates and the expectations that we're going to have another 0.25%, and then we're going to have another 0.25% in December. So we've got essentially a 0.5% cut still coming before the year comes to the end. Well, naturally, when you cut interest rates, people tend to gamble with money a little bit more. They tend to spend more. They may be spending a lot of extra money on Christmas stuff. They may buy some extra stuff. They may get a little more careless with their money. As they spend more money, that allows them, essentially, they can print more money. It gets the money flowing in the system. And I think they know what's happening. Inflation is going to be ramping up. There's no more 2% inflation. That's a thing of the past. And ultimately, I think they're just giving up on it. And, I find that really interesting. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with silver and gold and my thoughts on it. Now, am I still hopeful for a pullback? I ain't going to lie. I am. But I bought some last week. Someone had given me a deal on some at $40. I did a short little video, little clip, what I picked up. And then I ended up picking up some over the weekend at $43. It obviously, when people need money, they're willing to sell. I wasn't willing to buy, but if the price is low enough, I'm also not willing to stand by. You're talking $43. If there is a pullback, how much of a pullback is it going to be? Ultimately, my pullback goal was that we would see $40. And I'd be honest, that's looking a little tough right now. I think anybody out there that's waiting for that pullback is starting to really question it. Do we still have time? Yeah, we still have the rest of the week. My original thoughts were by the 2nd, if we haven't seen it, it ain't coming. And now the 2nd is only 5 days away. So I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. We're going to talk a little bit about that. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that thumbs up button for me. Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. I love hearing everybody's opinion on stuff. And let me know where you think silver's going, because there's a lot of excitement. And I'll be honest, I've been stacking. If you know me, I've been stacking for a little while now. And yes, I do believe in silver. I actually did a short tonight. I'll play it real quick here. Let's see if I can get away with it. I don't know. It's my short, so I should be able to get away with it. But I don't know, actually. I don't know if I can, because it actually has a piece of music from another one. It's cited in this short video, precious metals. may be my poison. Pretty good. It literally, it's a little bit of a metal music, heavy metal, which I almost never listen to, but something about this song just moved me. I really, when I was listening to it, I was like, what? Set me free? Because a lot of us know where precious metals are going. It could set a lot of us free. There's a lot of calls for astronomically higher silver prices. And we seen, just to give you an example, when GameStop short happened, we saw GameStop go from under $5, $3, all the way up to almost $300 because of the shorting and huge hedge funds getting just absolutely destroyed. 100-to-1 move. I want you to think for a minute what 100-to-1 move really means. You got silver trading at $25. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me reword that. You have silver right now trading at $47-ish, $47. However, a lot of people looked at silver at 25 and started seeing it move higher. Like they believe that $25 number was the number that was making the move. And I told a buddy of mine, I said, think about it, dude. I said, silver not even a year ago was like $25. You could have bought it a year ago at $25. Now, you're talking $47. It's up 63% right now for the year. I mean, think about that for a quick minute. 63% for the year. Here's the thing. Can you imagine if we have another couple years like this? The value of your stack is growing so rapidly. And if you look at years where they had big run-ups, silver went from $5 to $50 in a 3-year time span. There wasn't nearly as much fiat dollars in the system then as there is today. Which means 5 to 50, that's a 10x move. Could the 10x move have already started? Could it have started at $25? And by the end of the year, we're going to be 50. And then by the end of next year, it's going to be 100. And then the next year, 200. You know, a lot of people think these numbers are astronomical, but they would have said that if you had said that when it was $5 to 5 to 50. You know, a lot of people that has been stacking. Some of us have had the privilege to stack for a while. Some of us are new to stacking. Some of the people that watch these videos are new to stacking. And, I know when I talk to people, they tell me stuff like, oh, man, I wish I had been able to get in sooner. I only just found out about it at 40. I found out about it at 35. I talk to people all the time. I had one person tell me a long story, huge comment. I think it might have even been an email. And it just went on and on about how he had only heard about it at like $35, just under $35. And now he's totally missed the boat. And now you look at it, and it's almost $47. And I'll bet you he realizes now everything he bought at $35 is astronomically higher. Think about it. I seen one person, he did a full stack video of his gold collection. And this guy started stacking gold when it was under $400 an ounce. Under $400. I looked at his collection. I was like, oh, smokes. That is incredible to see that much in one spot, even if it was in a YouTube video. And I said, I mean, that's the privilege of having started early. But you know what? Are we still early? Personally, I believe we're still early. And even though I said I'm hoping for a pullback, I think there might be a pullback at the end of the financial quarter. Even though I thought that, it doesn't change the fact I've said time and time again. You can't go wrong, in my opinion, if you're dollar cost averaging. Now, this is not financial advice. This is just my thoughts, my opinions on precious metals. But ultimately, everything is going higher. It blows my mind that you have an asset that hasn't even hit its 2011 high, let alone its 1980 high. Think about it. And I've said this time and time again. Name me anything that has gone down in value since 1980. I'll even give you the benefit of the doubt and say 2011. Am I cherry picking those 2 years? Of course. I mean, because it jumped and then all of a sudden it gets pulled back. How did it get pulled back? Obviously, the huge allowing of short positions, allowing of ETFs, allowing people to trade paper silver that they don't have, just to naked short the heck out of it to beat the price down. Could we be in for some kind of a major down? I mean, anything is possible, but when I hear people's comments, and I learn from you guys just like you learn from me, and you have to be open-minded. You have to be open-minded to every possibility. But when I hear people leave me comments, you got to realize the short positions are failing. They're losing their butts right now. And that's exactly what happened with GameStop. GameStop, they lost their butts. And it wasn't until it was up almost 100x and we've seen them manipulate some things. Like most of the people that were buying GameStop were buying from Robinhood. Well, Robinhood, for some reason, took the buy option right off the app. You could no longer buy GameStop through Robinhood. And that essentially did destroy GameStop's stock because a lot of people didn't have the option. Then when that went away, people got scared. Oh, what are other people doing? Should I sell? And a lot of people sold. And the price plunged. Then the app puts it back and everything came out again. The Reddit groups, all the different people that were kind of blocked for a while came out, and they're like, oh my gosh, they still held. And then they went back in and bought it all back up again as quick as they could and drove it all the way back up even higher. Now, at this time, I don't know how many of you guys saw the movie Dumb Money. It was incredible. It was incredible how, I'm going to say nobody's like us. I hate to say it like that, but we're not big players. Maybe one of you all watching it. If you are, I apologize. I'm speaking for myself mostly, but we're not big money. We're looking for our opportunity. We go to work every day. We struggle to make ends meet. We live a frugal lifestyle. We cut out the Starbucks. We try to eat at home. We try to pack our lunch and take it to work with us. We work our 5 or 6 days a week. We're pushing it. And every chance we get to buy an extra ounce, we're buying it. Because we're tired of essentially I don't want to say enslavement, but it's what it is. The wealthy hold everything. And the wealthiest are holding gold and silver. They recognize gold and silver as money. It's true wealth. They're not holding paper promises. They are in the driver's seat, and they've already acquired theirs. We're just lucky enough that we're on their coattail. We've acquired ours. I wouldn't even be surprised to find out that the wealthy are quietly acquiring right now. And we haven't even gotten in to the masses buying yet. Because when the masses start buying, $50 or under $50 is going to be a thing of the past. Now, it makes me really nervous knowing that we're closing out the third financial quarter of the year. What does that mean? A lot of debts are settled. A lot of short positions are settled and retaken. And usually they don't want it to come up higher at the end of a month or at the end of a financial quarter or at the end of a financial year. Why? Because they don't want to draw attention to it. Now, we were just earlier tonight, 47.20 on the spot price. We were even higher on the futures price, which is definitely promising. Taking a look at the assets ranked by market capitalization, we've got silver. It was still showing $47.28. That's a $2.661 trillion market capital. About ready to pass Google. Think about that. If you're holding silver, you're in the driver's seat. In my opinion, it's better than Google. It's better than Apple. I mean, technically, we're not near Apple. We've got to need to go up a lot more before we pass Apple, but it ain't going to be forever. I think that silver will eventually pass Apple. I think silver will pass Apple next month. I'm sorry. It will pass Google next month. Then, by the end of the year, I wouldn't be surprised to see us pass Apple and Microsoft. And then in possibly the first quarter of next year, bye-bye NVIDIA. Hello, gold number 1, silver number 2. Where's Bitcoin in all this? Bitcoin ranking 8th right now, falling 111,000. I think people are starting to realize that Bitcoin is not better. Fake gold or digital gold is not better than real gold. Nothing beats real gold. There's a reason it's number 1 on the charts. And it's going to probably stay number 1 on the charts. This is not financial advice, nor should it be considered as such. This is just my opinions. Literally, gold is taking off, and silver is taking off too. It's not going to be long before the chart patterns show gold number 1, silver number 2. By not long, within a year, I bet. I know some people out there are saying that will never happen. They've said it before. They said it before when silver was at $15. And man, it can't even break 20. I had one of my buddies tell me, and he has a bunch. This guy's a very wealthy individual. He's sitting on monster boxes. But he said, dude, I buy it in case there's a full-out collapse and everything I own goes in the shitter. Point blank. He said, that's why I hold it. That's why I have some. But ultimately, wake me up when it passes 30 and stays over 30 for a little while. He's awake now. $47. We've been over 40 for what, a month now? How long? How long before we break through 50? A lot of people ask me, do you think we'll have a pullback at 50? Honestly, once we go through 50, we might have a little sideways trading. Who knows, though? Just because we went to 50 in 1980 and got destroyed, why did we get destroyed? They cheated the markets. They created paper silver. What happened in 2011? We got up to 50 and got destroyed again. Why? Because they ended up creating so much money to prop up the system, the bank bailouts, all this stuff, huge amounts of money that gives the banks power to manipulate the system. Even if they take a little bit of a loss, who cares? It's only paper. Ultimately, they're picking up silver. You look at companies like JP Morgan, they're loaded on silver. They're ready to see it go up higher. Gold, same thing. Every bank looks at gold as a big investment. They look at it as a tier 1 asset. Now, looking at altercations in the world, there's altercations everywhere right now. We knew this was going to happen. There's a changing order of countries happening little by little. What happens in a changing order? Certain countries that are on top get challenged. Do they deserve their on top position? I'm lucky I'm here in the United States. I'm proud to be an American. I love America. And I look at the way the dollar is. The dollar is getting weaker right now. And people are essentially tired of us printing money, and they're giving us their goods and services. And what are we giving them? We're giving them paper. Mostly paper. They don't want our food anymore. Why? Because we put so many preservatives, additives, food colorers. I don't want to use the word poisons, but we put so much garbage in our food. A lot of countries don't want our food anymore. So what do we have to offer them? They're getting sick and tired of it. We should be, and I guess we are the number 1 producer of food in the world, but once we genetically modify it, once we change it, once we add preservatives, a lot of people don't want that anymore. What they want is raw goods. That's it. Everybody is moving to a commodity boom. What do I mean by commodity? Corn, wheat, oil, gold, silver, copper, zinc, anything, nickel, lithium. anything that is a real item. A lot of these things now, I mean, with stocks, stocks, I mean, they might be overpriced, maybe, overvalued, maybe. If you look at the Buffett indicator, a lot of stocks are overvalued right now. They don't look at price per earnings ratio as much anymore. What do they look at? They look at hype. However, a lot of people are getting out of stocks and they're going into cryptos. We're talking a thin air asset. You don't hold it, you don't own it. It can literally drop on a dime. What props up a Bitcoin? Demand. People like it. Bitcoin is, I'll be honest, it's the most recognized crypto in the world. Do I think it will go higher? It could, based on everybody buying into the hype of stuff. But is it a possibility that times are shifting and people are going to realize hard assets are everything and that people need to position themselves? Obviously, the price of oil going higher brings a lot of stuff up. Why? Because oil is used to make gas. Gasoline, diesel powers almost everything. The production of everything. Wheat, you need oil, you need diesel, you need to plow fields. Gold, silver, zinc, copper, iron. You need oil, you need diesel, you need gas. Got to keep everything running. And when everything is going up, what do people want? People want more pay. And then wages have to go up. People wouldn't work today for $5 an hour. I mean, people don't even want to work now for minimum wage. And here's the thing. I'll be honest. I talk to business owners. They tell me it's hard to find good help. People don't generally want to work anymore. Why? Why don't they want to work? Because they're not making enough money. I mean, I looked at a job at a bowling alley. They help wanted. They were looking. I said, would I work? I like bowling. I really do. I enjoy it. I love bowling. I said, you know what? Maybe if I go work there, I'll get to bowl for free on my off time. When they're slow, I get over there. How much you paying? $12 an hour. I said, it's low pay, but you got to look at the perks. I've always said that. What are the perks? Do I get to bowl for free? No. I said, what? You don't get to bowl for free even when you've got no one here and you're slow, downtime? Nope. I said, let me ask you this. What do you charge to bowl? $15. I said, I got to work more than an hour to bowl for an hour? Where's the sanity in that? Of course I'm not going to take that job. There's no perks to it. I looked at another job, a movie theater. I got turned down. That's kind of funny, but it's a little sad, I guess. I like the idea of a movie theater because I like movies. I like popcorn. I like soda. I love sitting there watching movies, especially in the hot summer. What was the deal with that? Yeah, you get a free movie for you and a guest, a popcorn and a soda for $1. I said, that's awesome. What do they pay? $12 an hour. But I got turned down. That was bumming. But that's okay because silver is literally, I believe, going to set me free. What do I mean by that? The price is literally climbing at a faster and faster and faster rate. We used to be lucky to see 0.5%. Now what are we seeing? We're seeing 1.5%, 2%. Some days, 3%. The climbs are getting bigger and bigger. If you've already got some, great. If you don't have any and you're waiting for a pullback, I wouldn't wait too much longer. And I've said this time and time again. If you don't have any, you're missing the boat. The train is leaving the station. People that don't invest in precious metals or they invest in thin air assets, I believe are going to be left out in the cold. Something as big is coming down the road. Whether you want to call it a changing order, whether you want to call it a financial reset, whether you want to call it a dollar collapse, revaluation of currency, a devaluation of the currency, a full-blown reset, who knows? You call it whatever you want. The truth of the matter is something is happening. And if you're not preparing yourself, you're going to miss the boat. Where do I think silver's going to go? I think it's going to go a whole lot higher. I don't even think we've even begun to move yet. And I know some people are telling me, dude, are you crazy? Just in the last 2 weeks, we're up $6 or $7. That's huge. You don't think that this is just overvalued now? No. No, I don't. Why? Because I don't think enough people even know about it. When people know about it, it's going to climb. When big money starts looking at commodities, because they're seeing it now. Every commodity is up. Think about it. Big money is paying attention. Big money has people that do nothing but sit around all day and look at the trends of where the money is flowing. What's propping up crypto? Obviously, how many people own crypto? Let's ask that for a minute. I own some. I don't talk about it. I don't have a lot of it. I still have a little bit in my wallet. 2 wallets, really. One that I lost my code to. I lost my word. I thought I'd be slick and mix up my words. Instead of writing them down in the order, I wrote them down in a mixed up order. And then I forgot. I lost the paper, forgot it, and boom. Now I don't even have access to it. Does it matter? Nope, because I don't have that much in there. Hasn't done really anything. And then on my other wallet, a small amount, not enough to matter. Would I sell it? Nope. And most of the people that I know that hold small amounts of crypto, they have no intent on selling it. I plan on buying $50 in Bitcoin pretty soon. I'm going to buy it through my PayPal, I think. That's the easiest way to buy Bitcoin from what I've heard. And do you actually hold the Bitcoin? No, you're just based off dollars. You have the dollar backing. Kind of like people that buy SLV. There's a lot of people out there that think they own silver because they buy SLV contracts or GLD contracts. What is that? It's basically a piece of paper that says you have so many ounces of gold or silver. Well, there's a piece of paper or an account that says that you have so many Bitcoin. Some people, though, they buy their Bitcoin or whatever crypto and they have it moved into a cold storage or a private wallet. They hold the keys. They hold the coins. But at the end of the day, I don't want to say your account. You're responsible. But, I mean, you have to look out for your own finances. I always get asked about platinum. It's a hot item. I don't know how many times I get asked about platinum. I keep saying I might do a video solely about platinum, but it's not as, I guess, drawn out. It's hard to get a long video about platinum. What's going on with platinum? Platinum actually has done better than silver and gold. It's been skyrocketing. Literally, it's been going up so fast. I won't say it's equal to the profits on gold and silver, but it's definitely up there. I think it was up like 70%, some crazy number when I looked at it last. Now, why don't I do that? I did a 2-minute short earlier last night about why I'm not a big platinum fan. I labeled it gold, silver, platinum. And I mentioned in there, I mean, the bulk of the platinum gains, the skyrocketing has happened over the course of like a 3-month time period. Not a slow road, just a recent spike. And I always worry about distractions. What are distractions? Well, think about when Bitcoin came out. When did Bitcoin come out? Bitcoin came out at a time where gold and silver were skyrocketing. And all of a sudden, you had more and more people looking at Bitcoin. To the point where some people that I personally know, well, let me reword that. I personally know through YouTube, some YouTubers that were silver stackers gave up their collection and moved it into Bitcoin. Now, what does that mean? They basically thought that Bitcoin would be the future money. And they didn't want silver and gold anymore. Maybe they hold a little bit. Maybe they hold heart feelings. Who knows? It's definitely done well. However, it's a thin air asset. When everything collapses, I worry what will be there. And I know some people will leave me a comment. You're missing out, bro. Gold and silver is not going to beat out Bitcoin in the long run. And maybe they're right. But at the end of the day, I sleep well at night knowing that I hold gold and silver. Is platinum bad? No, I won't say platinum's bad. I won't. I won't diss platinum like I will diss Bitcoin. Think about platinum. Platinum is up. It is a precious metal. It's heavily used in industrial demand. Biggest number one use of platinum is the catalytic converter on vehicles, on gas-powered vehicles, I will say. Are we moving to electronic cars more? EV vehicles? Possibility. It seems like there's a trend going that way. What happens? It's not a monetary metal. What's next? A lot of medical stuff. Platinum is heavily used in the medical industry. That probably not going to go away anytime soon. But what happens if the economy tanks? Well, you see stocks go down. You see a lot of spending go down. You see a lot of consumerism go down. And you see people get out of stocks, big money, and move into something like a safe haven asset. And that's where that term comes up, safe haven asset with gold and silver. Now, any commodity, for say, can be a safe haven asset. If you hold something, you essentially hold it. But you could make the argument you can't hold certain items forever. You can't buy wheat and keep it for 10 years through a Great Depression. Will people still need wheat? I'm convinced they will. Will they still need oil? I think people will still. They'll just need less of it. People won't be traveling like we travel today. They'll still need food. They'll still need clothes. What they won't need is the latest and greatest iPhone, the newest TV, the newest vehicle, the newest whatever. In fact, you'll see a lot of people probably shifting and selling some of those things. Why? Because they'll need to pay their rent. They'll need to pay their mortgage. They'll need to pay something. But as long as gold is a tier 1 asset, gold is always probably going to have value. And I would put silver up there with it. Because more and more people are moving to silver as a, 1, industrial demand, 2, a monetary metal. And once you see that happening, you start to understand the big picture on why I think gold and silver are going to go a whole lot higher. Is there a lot of excitement around it? Absolutely. Will we see a pullback? I don't know. I'll be honest, at this point, I'm second guessing my pullback thoughts. However, like I said, we've still got a week. This week. If it doesn't happen this week, that's it. Now, will I pick up stuff? I'll always pick up deals. What do I define as a deal? Anybody that needs money and they're willing to take $1, $2, maybe even $3 under spot, that's a no-brainer to me. Pick it up when you can. Anybody that doesn't pick up at that point, I would burn my everything I have to get silver at under spot. Now, here's the thing. Right now, we're at a tricky time. Why? Because we have had a big run up over the last 10 days. Take a look. Let's see here. Let's just look at a month. And then I guess we can cut the month in half. Hey, we don't even have to cut it in half. Let's see what we were on these lows right here. 41.17. 41.17 on the 17th. Think of that, the 17th. What are we on now? The 29th. 12 days. 12 days ago, we were at $41. Now we're almost at 47. Try to buy it at 47? Nope. In fact, when I went online tonight looking at other dealers, different people that had websites, dealers, you're talking 49. That's only $2 over spot. I seen it as much as 52. What's happening? The premiums are going up. Why? Because what used to be 75-cent premium at one time went to $1.50. Now they want $2.50, $3. Premiums are going to go up. They're not going to accept the same little premium. It's like if someone's selling an ounce of gold, they're not going to take a small premium at this point. It's a lot of money to tie up. And there's a lot of risk in some people's mind. Not mine. I think silver and gold are going to look great. I just think we have to make it through this financial quarter and 2 days into the next quarter, 48 hours. Once that's behind us, that's it. That's it. What's going to happen next? Well, we got another Fed meeting come up. They'll probably cut another 0.25%. And then we're in the holiday season. People will be buying Christmas stuff and putting it on a credit card because let's be honest, the majority of people now don't have any money. They just put it on a credit card. They just charge it. And the more they charge, the deeper in debt they go. They'll keep just making the minimum payment and looking at life like, oh, well, I'll make the minimum payment. It doesn't matter. Eventually something will happen. I don't know what they think is going to happen. I've heard someone tell me that. I asked someone, you are so far in the hole. What do you think is going to happen? I don't know. Something will happen. No. You're just going to keep working the rest of your life away. I had someone ask me, well, don't you believe that they're going to reset the dollar? And don't that mean that all my bills will just be thrown out the window? It's a common thing. I could do a video just on that if you guys want me to. If people ask me that, I'll give you all my opinion on that. But I'll give you my quick opinion on that right now. You will see a hyperinflation, I believe, in this country. In pretty much every country at one time or another. But when the U.S. goes, it's going to take a lot of people out with it. Why? Because essentially as long as the dollar is doing slightly better than everybody else, then people will look at the dollar. But when the dollar collapses, how many dollars are out there? How many countries value their trades in dollars? How many countries hold dollars? How many countries hold treasury bonds? How many countries hold dollar assets? When the dollar goes, that's it. Now, what will happen to someone's bills? Think about that for a minute. For the short run, you'll be making more money. You'll be able to sell something. Maybe a car that you had might be worth double. Maybe a piece of property or land or a house might be worth double, maybe even triple when people just be like, I got to get rid of my dollars as quick as I can. Maybe your silver stack will be quadrupled by then in price. And you'll be able to sell some silver and take that money and slap it down and pay off your credit card. But the idea that your credit card bills or whatever your bills are just going to be thrown out the window, my personal opinion, chances are they're going to end up rolling out some new currency here in the United States. Call it a US of A note. Call it a Fed note. Call it a digital dollar. Call it whatever. And you have to trade 100 of the old notes for one new note. And if you owe anybody money, there's a possibility they may say, okay, you're going to get paid now. You're making $13 today. We'll use an easy number. We'll say $20. I like 20 because it's an easy number. You're making $20 an hour right now. And you know what? You're making it in U.S. dollars. Those get devalued. Well, let's just say 100 to 1 for a minute. So when your paycheck comes in, you take that money, you put it in the bank. All of a sudden, they shave 2 zeros off it. You've got $10,000 saved up. Bye-bye. Now you have 1,000. Now you have 100. However, your new pay will be paid in the new revalued currency. That incentivizes people to work. Why? Because your savings is gone. Your fiat dollar savings has been wiped out. You're 70 years old, you were retired. I'm sorry. Your savings just got totally destroyed. Now, go back to work. Find something to do. Walmart's hiring. They need greeters. Welcome to Walmart. Can I check your receipt? See what I'm saying? So you'll get paid in new dollars, and you'll be really ticked off. However, don't be surprised to see them say the money you owe has to be paid back now in new dollars. So you're in the same position. You just lost all of your savings account. And essentially by doing that, they took the savings account of every single person, or at least enough of it, but not the people that watch this channel, because you guys have some savings in precious metals. And if silver is at, let's just say when this happens, $100, you know what? It's still going to be $100 when it's over, but now you got to buy it in the new dollars. How do I know that? Because we've seen it happen in Mexico. We've seen it happen in other countries. No one is going to say, okay, let's cut the price by 2 zeros off the price of silver. We'll sell it for 10 cents now, or $1, whatever it will come up. I was about to say 46 cents, because if you take 2 zeros off, it'd be 46 cents. No. They're going to sell it for the same price. And you know what's going to happen then? Same thing that happened in Mexico. People are going to be pissed off, and when they get their savings, their extra savings, they ain't putting it into the new currency in the savings account. No. They're going to try to buy precious metals. And people are going to have a firm understanding at that point what happened. Because unfortunately, you have to get really, I was about ready to say a bad word, burned before you learn a lesson. How do I know that? What happens? A parent will tell kids, don't touch the stove. You're going to get burned. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. What do kids do? They're kids. They haven't learned the lesson. They get their hand close to it. They're scared a little, but they'll get their hand. They might even touch it. I've heard people say, don't look at the sun. You'll go blind. As a kid, I looked at the sun. Nope, look. I'm looking. I hate to say it. I'm losing my eyesight a little bit now. Maybe that means you don't go blind overnight, but surely it could affect you down the road. I don't want to get biblical. You know, if you read the Bible in Genesis, during the creation, the very beginning, what happened? God said, you eat of that tree and you will pass away. He didn't use those words because I don't want to say the D word. And the snake said, surely you won't pass away. Be real. And they ate of the fruit. Did they pass away right then? No. But we certainly don't live as long today as they did back then. If you read the Bible, you got Noah, you got all these people that lived thousands of years, 800 years. Why does it seem like our lifespan is just getting smaller and smaller? I have heard some people say it's because of all the crap they put in our food, dude. We're going to move away from religion. I know some people are touchy about religion. But people have to learn the hard way. When people's savings account gets wiped out, everything they've worked hard for and built up their entire life gets wiped out and they have nothing to show for it, they're going to learn the lesson. Should people already know this lesson? If you study history, you should know these lessons. Why? Because it's happened over and over and over and over again. All the way back. Rome, go to Civil War. You can go stuff that even happened recently. Zimbabwe, Venezuela, Cyprus. You could say Weimar Germany, not so recently, but it's one of the more famous ones. But now I think Venezuela should be the most famous one, even though it wasn't as bad as Weimar Germany. So people need to be prepared. And as of right now, looking at the charts, we have silver at $46.69. I urge you to look around and try to find some deals right now. I recently heard something. I met up with a channel member, and he was telling me about jewelry shops. It's not the first time I've heard this, but it's like the third time I've heard this now. And I've called a couple jewelry shops, and they didn't have any coins. Do you have any 1 ounce silver coins? No. Do you get them in sometimes? Sometimes we do. What do you pay on them? 10% under spot. Okay, so what would that be right now? We got spot at $46.71. So we'll minus about $4.60 from this. And what do you get? You get roughly $42. So if the jewelry shops are buying generic 1 ounce silver for $42, there's a chance that you could get it from jewelry shops at 45, maybe 46, maybe 47, but it's still cheaper than a lot of the big dealers. You have to be mindful. Anytime you buy anything, you should know what you're buying. You need to be cautious. No one is going to look out for you more than you. There are a lot of people out there that will cheat you. When I met up with someone to pick up that silver this weekend, I actually picked up a roll of silver dimes too. Why? Silver dimes, it was a good deal, a little bit under spot. Not as much as the silver, but I paid a little bit more because I do like junk silver, and I especially like silver dimes. So I paid more for that. I paid close to spot price on that. With that being said, I tested every one of those silver dimes. Every one of them. There's 49 dimes in there, in that roll. There's one missing. It was an honest mistake, I believe. But I tested every one of them. Not because I thought that person might try to cheat me, but because who checks junk silver? He couldn't even believe that I told him that I found some fake silver like that. Yep. The guy said afterwards, I picked up some of this off Temu. Okay, there's the answer. Temu. Stuff is dirt cheap on that website. They're not giving silver away. Most people that have it know what it's worth, with the exception of someone passed away and inherited a collection and they got no clue. And if you go and you try to sell it to a shop, there's even going to be shops that will try to take advantage of you. Not all, but there are some. You need to know what you have, what you're looking at, what you're buying, what you're selling. You need to prepare yourself. And that's why I do a lot of videos on that too, to try to teach people. I told the guy the other day, I said, I can do an ice cream check on, or an ice cube check on this. He goes, what do you mean? I said, I can take a fake ounce of silver, put it down, a real ounce of silver. I can walk over to that ice machine, pull out 2 ice cubes, put 1 on each ounce, and see if they melt the same. Well, that tells me they're both real or they're both fake. If one melts faster than the other one, that tells me the one that really melted fast is real and the other one is fake. I've been meaning to do a video on this. But if you have one that you know is real, you have a control. So you don't pull out 1 and 1. You pull out yours and theirs. Could you do that if you're picking up 25 ounces of silver, walk over to the ice machine, get 25 ice cubes and start putting it on everything? You could, but that would look a little weird. You might get in trouble. I don't know. So be mindful. Let me check the time real quick. And if it's been a while, because I don't, 47 minutes. Okay, it's been a little while. I'm not worried about the time. I'm not. I've learned I'm not going to worry about the time anymore on these videos. But if you are enjoying this video and you're still here, definitely hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, and leave me a comment. I love, if you have the hype option, some people won't even know what that is, but if you click on the video, you look underneath, it has the thumbs up, thumbs down, slide that bar over, and you might see a hype. If you see the hype, not everybody has it. You're a special person, literally. You have it, you are a test subject. They are testing the hype feature on your login. Please hit that hype button on my video. I would greatly appreciate it. Moving on, we've already talked about the silver price at $46.71. Continuing to go higher. We were up higher, then we had a little bit of a pullback, but that's still good. We're still up 72 cents or 1.5% for the day. Once the market's open and see that it climbed right back up, I think more people are going to get on board. I wouldn't even wait. I mean, you guys are watching this at 6 a.m. my time, which means 7 a.m. East Coast time. The markets will probably be opening in a little while. I might want to place a little bit of an order before they even open, if I don't have any. If you've already got a certain amount, you're fine either way. I'm going to wait it out. I'm going to wait it out and see if I get my dip. We'll see what happens. Taking a quick look at gold price right now. Gold price trading at $38.04. Back over the 38 level and continuing to go higher when you look at it. These numbers are getting bigger and bigger. What do I mean by that? You got a 1.25% gain, but now that 1.25% is $46. Tomorrow it might be 1.25% will be $47 or $48. The next day, 1.25% might be $50. Sooner or later, well, it's coming, where 1% is going to be pretty big. And then that's it. We're off to the races. That's compounding. It's your profits on your gold and silver compounding and getting to be even more and more. If they don't find a way to shut this down, and I don't think they can personally, but we'll see. The manipulators are losing a lot of money. And if they didn't learn their lesson from GameStop, they're going to definitely learn it with silver. So taking a quick look at Bitcoin, we got Bitcoin trading at $111,922. A big down from its high. We'll see how that plays out. We've talked long about this market cap chart, assets based by market cap. Taking a quick look at the DXY, we have the DXY trading at 97.94. For people that don't understand what the DXY is basically currencies valued against each other. If you see this falling, it's only falling against other currencies. But here's the thing. All fiat currencies are falling at the same time on top of that. I always say this, pretend a bunch of people jump out of a plane. None of us got parachutes. If I'm falling slower than you guys, I'm still falling, but it might make me look like I'm in a better spot. But at the end of the day, we're all going to hit the ground. Just like all fiat currencies are going to go to zero eventually. You need to prepare yourself. Taking a quick look, I started posting this for one subscriber who's in Canada, but I'm sure it's affecting more people than just him. He likes this chart because he says, I want to know what it's at in Canadian loan. We got gold now up to $52.98 in Canadian loan, up 60 loons or 1.15%. We've got silver trading at 65.16 loon, up essentially almost one full loon or 1.5%. When you look at this chart, this is one of the reasons why I like this chart too, is because I can see over the last 1 year what it's up in other people's currencies. Gold up 47% in Canada. Silver up 52% in Canada. Now, like I said, if you're in the United States, you're up 55%. Why? The U.S. was a little late to the party. And now we're catching up faster. And the average American, I don't think, has much precious metals. We don't push it like other countries. We don't talk about it as much here like we do at in other countries. I had people tell me many times in the comments, you're lucky to have the opportunities to be able to go out and purchase precious metals like you have, especially junk silver, silver dimes, silver quarters, silver half dollars at spot price. We don't have that opportunity in other countries. You got it in America. And there's some other countries. I think Canada has it too. I mean, a lot of countries at one time has had precious metals as currency. But they caught on to, why use precious metals and we can just give them worthless paper? Taking a quick look at the U.S. debt, we currently have the U.S. debt trade at $37.54 trillion. It's only getting higher. And as it gets higher and higher, it's going to get more interesting. Paper to silver ratio, we have 360 paper ounces of silver for every 1 physical ounce. If everybody wants their silver tomorrow, 359 people are going to get left out in the cold. Think of a game of musical chairs. You got 360 people walking around one chair. Only one person is going to get that chair. What's going to happen? There's going to be a fight. There's going to be some pushing, some jumping. And do you think you're going to be the one to get that chair? Probably not. The bigwigs have that game rigged. So if you ain't got your precious metals now, you're probably not going to get any. By now, I mean, you're at least picking stuff up a little bit. How much do you have to pick up? If you can pick up a little bit each week, I tell some people, if you pick up an ounce of silver a week, you're in a better spot than most. I actually heard something over the weekend, and I want to talk about it in a full video, so I don't want to get too much into it right now. I'm about ready to wrap up here. Essentially having 50 ounces of silver. What happens when you have 50 ounces of silver? I heard someone else talking about that, and I loved it. I loved it. It was a great talk. If you've got 50 ounces of silver, you're committed. You have something. You have skin in the game. You've created essentially a drive, habit, whatever you want to call it. You've picked up some. Now, could you go out and buy 50 ounces tomorrow? Some people could, but you don't see that from people that don't have silver. If you're a silver stacker and you've been stacking for 10 years, do you go out and buy 50 ounces? Maybe. But if you've never bought an ounce of silver yet, do you go out and buy 50 ounces? Nope. I've never met a new stacker go out and buy 50 ounces of silver right off the bat. I've seen new stackers buy 1 ounce, maybe even a couple ounces, maybe even, I'll give the benefit of the doubt, a 10-ounce bar. But when? Back when it was $20 an ounce and it only cost them $200? Or today when it's going to cost them $500 for a 10-ounce bar? That's right. Think about that. $500. Man, when I think about that, that's insane, because I remember buying them for $150, $160. I remember one night having a chance to buy, I almost bought like 10 of them for $201 a piece, and I said, I'm not paying that extra one. Not doing it. I'll wait. And it never came down, ever. I've never seen it under 20 again, and honestly, I never will. I think there's a better chance I'll see 100 than seeing 20. I think there's a better chance I'll see 250 before I see $20 silver again. It's only going higher. Are you in or are you out? Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Special thank you to all of our members of the channel. I can't thank you all enough. If you'd like to become a member, it is only $1.99 to become a member. I will be doing a members event by the weekend for sure. If I don't do it one of these evenings, I had something come up earlier in the weekend, and that kind of burned my weekend a little bit. So don't think that it will be missed. It just may run a couple days later. So with that being said, special thank you to the members, and I will be doing that special free silver event for members very shortly. Only $1.99 to become a member, and good luck to all the members, and thank you to all the members of the channel. As a member, you get entered into every special event that we do for a shot at winning free silver, plus your comments go straight to my phone. You get a star next to your name, and you get to support a, I think, great channel. But for some people that may not be enough. They want a shot at winning an ounce of silver for $1.99. That definitely would be awesome. So thank you all for watching, and good luck to everybody, and thank you to all the members, and thank you all, if you're not a member, for just watching this video and hitting the thumbs up. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow for another great video. Can't wait to see how precious metals do. You guys are watching this video right now at somewhere early morning before the markets open. I can't wait to get up and see what silver does tomorrow morning. Take care, or tonight, later today. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.